Welcome back to my channel. This is Millard Maryland. Today we're going to be talking about third-party and independent candidates. It's election day today, which means America is faced with a difficult choice between a Republican or a Democrat for president, as always. But is this what the people want at this point? Polling from Gallup has suggested that 58% of Americans in 2024 believe the country needs a third major political party, and that the current major political parties are becoming ineffective at serving the interests of the American people. It seems as though Americans are tired of having to choose between two political parties every single time. So the question is, what are the other options? Why do people want to vote for them? And why have they not been very successful in the current political system? That's what we're going to find out in this video. First, let's go over the third parties. There are multiple third parties throughout the United States, but it would take me forever to list them all because there are so many. So for now, we're going to go over three of the largest: the Libertarian Party, the Green Party, and the Constitution Party. Let's start with the Green Party, since their candidate, Jill Stein, is much more well known. It is a left-wing party that is a strong proponent of social justice, welfare, and environmentalism. They've been in support of Roe v. Wade, the Black Lives Matter movement, and equal rights for Gazan civilians, all of which have made them very popular with younger voters that care about these issues. Then you have the Libertarian Party, which is, of course, the party that advocates for libertarian principles such as personal liberty, free markets, and non-interventionism. They believe the American people should be free to make decisions about their own lives, that government overreach must be curtailed, and capitalism would be on top. This year, Chase Oliver is the presidential candidate. Lastly, there's the Constitution Party, which is arguably more right-wing than the Republican Party. This party bases a lot of their policy positions on the Constitution and statements from the Founding Fathers, yet they have extremely right-wing takes when it comes to abortion, immigration, etc. Randall Terry is the presidential candidate for that party. There are many factors that play into why people choose to vote for either a third party or independent candidate. For starters, if a person's ideology doesn't correlate with either the Democratic or Republican Party platforms, they will choose to go for a third party or independent candidate. Take libertarians, for example. Their ideology is essentially incompatible with either the Democratic or Republican parties because both parties favor a considerable degree of government involvement in people's lives, whereas libertarians support no government intervention. As a result, they would be less likely to support either the Democratic or Republican parties. Another good example would be leftists who feel discontent with the Democratic Party for their handling of the current situation in Gaza and would therefore support a more pro-Gaza candidate for the presidency, such as Jill Stein or Cornel West or Claudia de la Cruz. Another significant factor is the lack of popularity for the Democratic and Republican candidates in an election. In 2016, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton were widely considered to be unpopular based on polling conducted by multiple news networks and agencies, with favorability ratings as low as 33% and unfavorability ratings as high as 62%. This could open the floor for third-party or independent candidates to become president, but the chances of them actually winning the election are not even close. Here's why. There are several reasons why third-party or independent candidates do not attain the presidency. For starters, the Electoral College. I'm going to go in depth about it more in another video, but basically, with how the Electoral College is set up, only a Democrat or Republican have been able to win, even with a competing third party, and history proves this. In 1912, former President Theodore Roosevelt ran as a candidate for his Bull Moose Party in order to challenge Republican incumbent William Howard Taft. Democratic candidate Woodrow Wilson ended up winning in a landslide in that election, becoming the next president. In 1968, George Wallace, the governor of Alabama, ran as an independent in the presidential election. He also lost, and only gained 46 Electoral College votes, the last time a third-party or independent candidate gained any Electoral College votes. Other major candidates, like John B. Anderson and Ross Perot, also ran for president as independents, but they gained 0 Electoral College votes. In order to win a presidential election, a candidate needs 270 or more electoral votes. If it has been extremely difficult for people like George Wallace, John B. Anderson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Ross Perot to gain such a majority, then it'd pretty much be impossible for Jill Stein to attain the presidency of the United States. Aside from the Electoral College, there are many other barriers that prevent a third party or independent candidate from becoming president. First, there's campaign financing. It is expensive to run for president, and candidates need to spend millions in order to attain the presidency. But in order to receive sufficient financing, parties and candidates need at least 5% of the votes. This is a threshold that is only achieved by Democrats and Republicans, and without sufficient government funding, third parties and independent candidates have very little success in winning elections. Another issue is getting into presidential debates, which play a big role in shaping people's opinion on candidates and how they would deal with issues. Third party or independent candidates have not been included in debates since Ross Perot since 1992. That's because of a series of criteria set up by the Commission for Presidential Debates, the corporation jointly sponsored by Democrats and Republicans tasked with managing national debates, which makes it harder for third-party and independent candidates to participate in these debates. In order to be able to do so, a candidate must have 15% of the popular support and appear capable of winning the Electoral College. And as we have already discussed, it is not likely that that is going to happen. Lastly, America uses a first-past-the-post voting system. In a first-past-the-post voting system, the candidate that gets the most votes wins, but it is also a system that essentially produces a two-party system. That's because, according to Duverger's law, in elections with these systems, voters are more likely to abandon the less popular candidates, perceiving them as wasted, in order to support a candidate that is more likely to win, which furthermore reduces the chance of a third party or independent candidate to win the presidency of the United States. So even though third party and independent candidates are becoming more and more popular, their chances of actually winning the presidency are slim to none. Unless there is significant reform to the American electoral system, America will always remain a two-party system. And there you have it, folks. I am Miller Maryland. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Good luck with this election. And I'll see y'all next time.